Did you arrive at some clinical implications from the study?
So, yes, and we're working on some research right now that addresses those clinical implications. So one thing we did with this study is we looked carefully at the dynamic relationships between cognitive processing and sentence comprehension. And instead of just doing a study where we look at attention and comprehension, and other studies look at working memory and comprehension, and some look at long-term memory and comprehension, we look at how those cognitive systems interact with each other. And they tend to interact through working memory. So one approach might be, oh, let's go train working memory. Let's work really hard with these kids' quote, working memory skills. And then, since that mediates this relationship between these other cognitive factors and sentence comprehension, if we fix working memory, then all of a sudden everything's going to flow correctly and kids should be better at sentence comprehension. Well, the research shows that that's not what's happening. If you work hard on working memory skills and give kids working memory tasks, they tend to get better at the working memory tasks, but they don't necessarily get better at sentence comprehension or sentence production, and there are lots of studies showing that. And it's because people aren't thinking about this dynamic relationship between these cognitive skills working through working memory and then influencing sentence comprehension. So it's our opinion that interventions that are functional and that take advantage of your ability to chunk information in long-term memory and then use those chunks of information knowledge in order to then comprehend these complex sentences should be much more effective at influencing both long-term memory and fluid reasoning, as well as working memory, as well as sentence comprehension. So kind of starting from the top and working through the reasoning skills you have and the memory skills you have, and then influencing comprehension should be the better approach than just attacking working memory or attacking attention or even only attacking long-term memory. So we believe that we've developed some narrative-based language interventions in which we provide some information on how to chunk, or we provide therapy on how to chunk information in long-term memory and then use that information to increase comprehension of complex sentences and stories. We believe that those kinds of approaches should have a bigger payoff in terms of helping kids with the cognitive processes that influence sentence comprehension, as well as the communicative processes that enable children to comprehend the information that they are hearing.
We shall await the outcomes of the intervention study eagerly.
Thank you very much. We're doing a large-scale randomized clinical trial at multiple sites in the United States. Year one of that study just ended. We just finished the post-testing right before we came to Australia. And so we are excited to get home and get some data analyzed and see if our predictions play out.
Very high-level evidence, just what we need. Thanks so much for sharing this with us, Ron.
Great. Thank you very much for having me here.